Zeba from my little journal, and today I'm excited to be sharing with you a flip through of my October daily. I am done with my 2022 October daily, and my journals are beautiful. As you guys know, this year I decided to stick to my storyline chapters, the minis. So I ended up with two. I did end up with two last year as well, and I'm using the little album to hold my two journals. So let's get to it. We're going to start with our first journal or first notebook. And I did cover my notebooks with some scrap paper. I didn't feel like the covers fit well with my October daily, so I just used some close to my heart paper and just created an intro page. And basically, for my prompts, I was all over the place. I was documenting things that I had photos for. I also used Serena B's prompts mixed in with my own prompts. And if I had a picture that I really wanted to document, I just ignored the prompts and documented it. So for prompt number one, I was documenting Halloween decor and fall. Now, I've said this before, I don't decorate my house for seasons. Personally, I feel like it's a waste of money, so I don't do it. And literally, my decor is just a few pumpkins in my living room or on my dining table, and that's about it. And I've been using my stash from last year, so I've really been able to shrink down the products that I had from last year's Halloween documentation. So this was a lot of fun to kind of use the stuff I already have. I created a little Dutch door for prompt number two, which I believe was fall leaves or something like that. Happy Mail. I got a lot of nice Happy Mail this season. And this one was from Nicole. Love that Friends stamp set. I also did add a little journaling card. So I added a slit through my photo. This is a great way to add journaling if you don't have space on your spread or your photo. So just kind of make a little slit through your photo and slide a card in there. It's a great way to kind of tuck it in and have it out of sight, basically. So prompt number four was our house. And like I said earlier, I do not decorate the house or anything like that, but I thought it was funny to kind of switch it into black and white and make it look haunted. And I did add a vellum piece. This is always a fun way to add your vellum and to change up your spread. As you can see, if I didn't add this, it would still look good, but this is a wonderful way to just kind of add a hint of color and some texture throughout your notebook. Prompt number five was pumpkins. So we got to do some pumpkin painting and stuff like that with my niece. I didn't have space to add my journaling, so I just flipped my little photo here, added a card and my journaling, and was able to fit in my journaling with all these photos and embellishments going on my spread. So for prompt number six, it was costumes, and I had this photo of my sister and I. I really wanted to use my stash, so I decided to use one of my page protectors, and I did tuck it behind my photo. I did have to trim it down a little bit because it was too long for my notebook. Just added some washi tape to hold it. And I was able to use some of my Halloween cards, which is awesome. This is a really fun way to add some page protectors in there and a great way to hold your cards. So this was a lot of fun. I should have done it again throughout my notebooks, but I totally forgot about it. And I had some different ideas for the other spreads, but this is definitely a wonderful way to use up your page protectors and your cards. So day number 7 is a great example of not sticking to any prompt lists. I wanted to document this moment, so I just created a collage. I made it look spooky and put it in there. I always say this to people who say, I don't, celebrate Halloween, or we don't do a lot of things in October to have a full October daily. It doesn't have to be Halloween related. You can document whatever you want in your October daily. It's just the products are so cute, and it's a great way to use ghosts on a page. And even though this has nothing to do with Halloween or ghosts, but it's still fun to create some fun Halloween spreads in your October daily even if it's not Halloween related. Prompt number 8 was your drink. So I had a photo of what I was drinking at the moment, kept to the theme, added a lot of spider webs there. I just had so much fun using my stash. This was another fun day. Again, it's not Halloween related, but you can still use it in your October daily because it's something you did in October, but use those Halloween products to kind of spook it up. If you've been watching my October daily for 2022, you know I recreated the spread. I didn't like the left side at all and how it turned out. And I decided that, you know what, I'm just going to pull everything off and just add some pattern paper in the background and make it look like a living room, like a ghost is watching TV. And I really like how it turned out. And I'm so happy I changed my mind and decided to just add some pattern paper in the background. It truly made a difference, and it made me happy to change my mind and decide that I didn't like how the spread was going. Day 11, I went with like kind of a currently spread. So I added a lot of photos from October that I wasn't able to add throughout the beginning of October. And I really love how the spread turned out because sometimes you have extra photos, but you don't know where to document them. A spread like this works out perfectly because you can add all those photos and just add a nice little title on the opposite side and you're good to go. Day 12 was a scary moment and it had to go into my October daily. So my son hit another parked car at night while he was going home from a friend's house. It was really late, you guys. So getting the 2 o'clock in the morning phone call was not fun. I kind of journaled about it and then just stamped, please don't park so close to me. Kind of taking from Sting's song, but or the Police actually. But I thought that was funny. And I had this little Halloween car sticker, so I added that. It was perfect for what I was documenting. I believe I have some process videos for the next few spreads, and this one was keeping it simple. I literally just stuck down this pattern paper, used my alpha stickers to add bewitching, my photo, and called it done. Again, your spreads can be very simple and have a major impact. Your spreads don't have to be over the top. You don't have to have a million things coming out of your spread and all that. I think that what's important is to tell the story or share your photo. And if it's just sticking down a piece of paper and a photo, then you're good to go. Don't overthink it. I always say this, if thinking outside the box for you is different than someone else, and if someone else wants to create, I don't know, moving stuff on their page, and that's their thinking outside the box, that's great, but it doesn't mean it has to be yours. If just sticking down a photo and paper is your way of thinking outside the box, then stick to that. Don't overthink it. Don't look at other people and think that's what you have to do to create an October daily. And look at my spreads. They're very simple, but this is a very beautiful journal. And not because it's my spreads, I'm saying that. I love looking through them, and I think for me, this is my style, and this is what I like to look at when I'm looking through my journals, and they're still so beautiful, even though they're not complicated. Anyways, moving on, another happy mail moment here that I wanted to document. Just added a little glassine pocket, added my photo and the little card that I got from my friend Elizabeth. Really love this spread. I just really like how these kind of matched really well. Documenting my peaches. We get together every 2 weeks and craft together. And this was our Halloween / craft all day party. So I just kind of did a little collage of our photos and the times I took the photos, added my journaling. Love the spread, love my peaches. Okay, let's move on to our second journal. So for the second half, I kept it simple. I just added a little ghost. My ghost got really, really dirty, but that doesn't bother me. I just punched out a circle so my ghost can sit in there, and just added boo in the cover. I also added the dates on my journal so I don't forget. And I started with day, let's see, what day is this? 16. So my son went to the Falcons game and he had sent me a few photos, and I thought this was perfect to kind of document his experience in October. And again, kept it simple, added some paper. I had so much paper that I wanted to use, so I thought this is a good spot to do it. And I stamped out my Frankenstein stamp, loved that stamp, and just trimmed the mouth out and had his picture sitting there with a little bit of journaling, and I'm good to go. Using some old Paper Person Shop paper here, I had a few photos that I used filters, like Halloween filters. So I wanted to use those. I added 4 of those, and I thought this paper was hilarious because it said "me before coffee." And just to spice up my page here, I used another piece of paper where I trimmed out the cards and added my number 17 within the cards. I thought that was fun and a great way to use that pattern paper because I haven't used it yet and I love the cards. I just used them to add some color to my spread. Documented the books I read and wanted to read. I ended up reading 2 of them. I didn't get to The Killer of a Certain Age. I hope to get to that soon. And I also documented the music I was listening to. This is my go-to stamp set when I'm documenting music. I love the cassettes. So I went ahead and did this last year. I scraplifted myself a lot from last year's journals. I just think there was some really good spreads in there that I can recreate. And so I did that again in my 2022 October daily. And I love how that turned out. Okay, so prompt number 20 was candy. And I thought this would be a fun one to document because my kids, both of them, when they have candy, they hide it in their rooms, kind of from each other. And I thought it would be fun to kind of represent that in my October daily. So I just stamped out "Will trade brother for candy." I just thought they actually would do that, especially my little one. So anyways, I just added some candy around my title, and I did use different inks just so the colors kind of would help this pop, because I knew I didn't want to add anything else, just a little bit of candy here and there. And I knew I was going to keep my photo black and white with a hint of color. So I made sure to ink my title with different ink colors. So for prompt 21, I think it was food or something like that. I can't even remember. But I, again, scraplifted myself from last year. So last year I did a morning, afternoon, and evening photos. So it was like a morning photo, an evening photo, or an afternoon photo, and an evening photo. So I kind of did the same thing, but with food. And I did breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then put comfort food. I thought that was a lot of fun, especially that the food looks amazing. Now I'm hungry. Then for day 22, no journaling, nothing. I had some photos I wanted to document. So basically, I just was playing with this. I tried to be creative. I added some pattern paper. I even colored the background from this pattern paper. This was pink, but I wanted it in black. So I added some vellum. I added some washi tape. So this paper was really short and it wasn't going to cover both spreads. So I literally just trimmed it down and covered the ends of my page and colored it in, and I'm okay with it even if you can see it. But this is such a fun spread. I thought it was a great way to use up some of my stash and be able to document those photos. Witching Sense, this is another scrap lift from last year, but last year I did like dates or years and had like little stamped images. This time around I kind of did a little mind map basically and just started from 2000 and stamped out a bunch of witches. I really love how this one turned out. So much fun and very simple. Another spread that I scrap lifted from my previous October daily. I had done this A to Z and in between kind of changed up the letters and used my stickers and stamps. And I thought it would be fun to redo it and try it in my 2022. And I love how it turned out. And I kind of did a collage of my kids since they were little in their costumes. Obviously, I wasn't able to fit all their costumes from when they were little, but I just chose a few of my favorites and added them in there. 25 was simple, using an October calendar, just stamped a few things in there and some stickers, keeping it simple and documenting some pumpkins. Day 26, it was Sabine's birthday, so I just played with this. Honestly, there was a few things in my stash that I really wanted to use, like this spooky. It was a card. I trimmed it out, made it work, and this was also a card that I trimmed out and used kind of like a frame for my photo and a space for journaling. Just colored in one of my ghosts and added 18. Just so simple, but I love how the spread turned out. The only thing I wish I did was colored the ghost in a different color. I think I tried it off this paper and it looked different. And when I colored it in on this paper that I printed on, it looked different. So that's the only thing I didn't like about the spread, but it's not so bad that I have to change it. Day 27 is where I stand. So for day 27, how I decided to do this is obviously I took a where I stand photo and I had loads. So I just chose one of my favorites and added it. And then I used a stamp that had Monday through Sunday. And I thought it would be fun to kind of go through my planner and see where I was on Monday and add that, and where I was on Tuesday, and kind of like where I stand every single day. So I thought that was fun, just looking back in like Friday dog park. So I stood in the dog park. So that was fun, and I like that I remembered having that stamp because it really kind of completed the space. At first, I thought I would have to journal to fill out that space, but there's not much to say about one photo here where I stand. But having the stamp and kind of documenting where I stand every single day throughout the week was a better idea and a great way to fill out that space. I did a currently page. Love this one. So I have this paper from Studio Calico. It's from their recent Halloween kit. I think that kit was called Boo. I'm not even sure. And it had a paper with frames. So I trimmed out the frames and I stamped out my own frames as well and filled my own frames with photos. So like a photo of my parents, where I stand, the news at the time or on that day, my husband and our dog, my French toast, just little things like that. And I filled out the page with stars as well. Love how this turned out. So much fun. After I created this spread, I wish I had recorded it or at least done a reel for it because it just turned out so cute. Day 29 is the fair. So I didn't get to go to the fair, but my daughter went with her friends. It's crazy how our tradition was we all go together, and sometimes the kids have friends and they kind of drift off on their own and come back. But this year, they were all on their own. No drop me off or pick me up anymore. So it was kind of a sad moment, but I still wanted to document it because it is a tradition that the kids go or we go to the fair. Even though I didn't go this year, I still wanted to document it and kept it simple. Again, I did use some of my state fair stamps from the Paper Person shop or Kelly Perky, and I just added the bats. Just adding the bats made it more Halloweenish. So for day 30, you can see I am done. I'm like, I just want to finish this journal. I want to finish this project and start my Thankful 30. So I'm not overthinking things. It doesn't look like it's the best spread on the planet, but it works. It's good. And I was able to document my book club. So we got together the Reading with Hiba book club. I added our photo, my journaling card, and a few more cards just to kind of use up some of my stash, and just created something fun on my glassine bag. Stamped out my Frankenstein and also used my Reading with Hiba stamp set to fill out my Frankenstein's mouth and called it done. Love how this turned out. And then day 31, we had some sick kids in this household, but let me say this. My niece wasn't sick and she went trick-or-treating. I always ask for photos, and if I can, I go with my sister and her daughter trick-or-treating. But this year I did not because I had some sick kids at home. Now, I did this little vellum piece, added the Happy Halloween 31, and Behind the vellum piece is Sabine in her costume. So Sabine was lucky because she got to go Friday to a Halloween party, but then Saturday she got really sick and both kids got sick. So Halloween, we were home, lights off. Everybody was sleeping, tired, sick. So it wasn't the best Halloween, but at least she got to go to a Halloween party before she got sick. So anyway, I decided for the 31st, I would document both and just add a little vellum piece in between to kind of break it up because I felt like, this kind of looks bland, but if you add a little vellum piece, I have space to add Happy Halloween and add a little something to my spread. But anyways, that's it, you guys. That is a flip through of my 2022 October daily. I love how these turned out. They're so big and chunky and beautiful. I can't wait to put them away and have them on my shelves to look at. I know I didn't share a lot of process videos for my October daily, but I hope I was able to inspire you with this flip through. But for now, I'm working on my Thankful 30, and I hope to share more of my Thankful 30 as the days pass. And that's about it, you guys. Don't forget, I will be adding all the links for everything I used and shared down in the description box for you. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up. And if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. And I hope to see you guys very soon. Bye.